you're adamant about no federal dollars putting astronauts, government astronauts, back on the moon. We need to secure money to get to what you think is the goal, the real destination, Mars. Maybe clarify.
Well, one thing we can't ignore the moon. We've got to pay some attention to it. How much? Well, are we going to put our people there again? If we do that, what we need to do is so much greater than what the other nations have to do that they're going to win that race by comparison. All they have to do is, heck, if they send a crewed vehicle around the moon and back, that's more than what we can do right now. We can get our people to the space station.
Right, now that's another one of those items that you said, one of the things that in your career, as much as you've done, the one regret you have is that you didn't get your voice out there loud enough about decisions about reusable spaceships, which turned out to be the Space Shuttle, which was a pretty long, a big contract to build the Space Shuttle. We had numbers of flights with that vehicle, but you felt that was the wrong way to go.
You know, it amazes me when I think back with a pretty good degree of clarity of 1970, before I left Houston to go to the Command and Test Pilot School. I was waiting for my kids to get out of school. I was sort of excess baggage in the astronaut office. I did a little bit of a study with Hugh Downs and Margaret Mead about youth representation, and I thought it was a noble cause until I found the young people who were really just looking for some way to get a voice in whatever it was they were pursuing. But I was asked to go down to the Marshall Space Flight Center to participate, to observe a new program that was supposed to follow Apollo. And they didn't tell me too much about it, but when I got there, I found out that there were a lot of contractors there, and it was pretty far along. They called it a Phase B study. And what was going to come out of that was 2-stage, fully reusable launch vehicle. A booster with wings and wheels, and an orbiter for the people, not the cargo, but just the people, with wings and wheels. Both of them would come back and land on a runway. Wouldn't we love to have that sort of thing there now? That's what we were looking at in 1970. And there were 7 teams of booster contractor and orbiter contractor. And they all had a combined design and they built different models that I looked at. And I looked pretty carefully because I'm representing the astronaut office. I want to see what you can see out the window as you're going on up. So I looked at where the windows are, and you're going to use those when you come back and land. And while I was doing that at these 7 different versions of reusable booster and reusable orbiter, I managed to glance down at the boosters. And lo and behold, I saw windows in the booster. And I said, what's that for? Oh, well, we have a crew of 2 astronauts in the booster. I said, what? Why in the world would you want to put 2 guys? Well, we want to make sure that it comes back safely and lands. And I said, we know how to do that. What about you have a problem during launch and you're interested in saving the crew in the orbiter? The normal procedure is to blow up the booster. But you can't blow it up if you got people in it. Now, well, they sort of listened to my discussion. They'd already made up their minds. And besides that, they said, look, we have all these 7 teams do a particular study at the beginning of this competition. And the study was entitled Manned versus Unmanned Booster.